today I'll be making some breastfeeding pads. This is just some cotton cloth that I bought. It's a cleaning cloth, very cheap. It has several layers of muslin, very thin muslin fabric together, and I'm gonna cut it up and put it inside. And this is some muslin that I bought to make some baby items like baby sheets. It's just, again, some muslin with a fun print. And I'm tracing around an IKEA bowl that is a pretty standard IKEA bowl. It's for kids. Just tracing about a centimeter or 1/4 of an inch around the bowl. And I'm using a water-soluble marker, again, from my daughter's play markers. It will wash right out of the fabric later when I wash them before using, so the color doesn't matter. And I need two circles for this project, so I'm just tracing around the bowl 2 times. I think this size is perfect, so if you have one of these bowls at home, you should also use this for tracing around. The end result is about the same, probably a little bit wider than the disposable breast pads you can buy at the store. Alright, and now I am cutting around the 2 circles. Okay, so my 2 circles have been cut out. I'm just gonna quickly make sure that my inner part is big enough. So I want it to be just slightly smaller than the outside piece that I cut out of the printed muslin. So this piece we're gonna cut exactly the same width as the little kids IKEA bowl. So I'm just gonna trace that with the same water-soluble marker that I was using earlier for the outer part of the fabric. Alright, it's time to cut out the inside. Okay, next I need to arrange the fabric with the print side in. So take the 2 pieces, put the print side in. And here we're just gonna sew a seam around the circle and leave about 1.5 inches open on one side. So I am stitching about a 1/4 inch from the edge of my fabric, just to make sure that the stitches will not pull out later. So I want to make sure that I have a good seam allowance here. And I think a 1/4 inch is fine. Okay, next we need to turn the fabric right side out. So pull the printed side through the little gap that we left in the stitches. And then I'm going to stuff the multi-layered muslin fabric inside for a filler. It's very good at soaking in as a lot of breast milk while you are breastfeeding, so it's perfect for a breast pad. Alright, and here I'm stitching up the gap. So after I've stuffed it with the filler, I am now stitching up the 1.5 inch or 2 inch hole that I left, with the fabric tucked inward so the edges are not exposed, by using a whip stitch, as this is the most simple way to close up a hole. Okay, finishing up here on my last whip stitch, I'm going to pull the needle off of the thread and tie a slip knot and bring the knot all the way down to the end of the thread closest to the fabric so that I can just secure the thread in the best way possible. After I do that a couple times to make the knot bigger, I'm going to cut it, leaving about maybe 1 or 2 millimeters of thread left. Okay, there's our breast pad. Just have one more step left. I'm flattening out the inside layers of muslin just to make sure that there aren't any lumps. The funny thing about muslin is that it actually loses its round shape pretty easily. So these breast pads started out round in a perfect circle like I showed you tracing around the IKEA bowl, but they're gonna turn into kind of a lumpy circle. But I'm securing it with pins just to make it as round as possible and make sure that all the layers kind of stay where they should be. And after I've pinned it, I'm just gonna sew through around the edge about, I want to say about 1 centimeter, but that would be a little over 1/4 inch from the outside edge. And you'll see it at the end here when I show you both the breast pads, but I actually sewed one of them a little bit closer to the edge than the other one, so it doesn't really matter how close to the edge you are on this step, just making sure that you get through all the layers of muslin and from the outside all the way through the inside so that there aren't any spaces where the muslin can slip out and kind of become thicker in one side and thinner on the other. You don't want to lose your absorbency that way. Here we go. We're all done. 2 breast pads all ready for you to use. Just wash before you use them. Thanks for joining me today.